Oh, I think I may have gotten it. Never mind. I think I got the sound just wasn't on. We're gonna see. Yeah, I definitely got it. Hey guys, you guys can hear me now? Awesome. My fault. Yeah, we're learning, guys. We're learning. I think Steph said it last week. You would think because of my age, being young, I would understand how to work technology. That is a horrible assumption. So at least I'm knowing what I'm doing, guys. So next week, this Wednesday, I can promise it's going to be a little bit better, a little bit better. But guys, welcome. We're actually going to jump right on into our video today, and we're continuing the story of Joseph. And the past couple of weeks, we've learned that Joseph, in his father's eyes, was special. He was the most favorite child. We learned that his brothers, they didn't really like him too much. And where we left off, his brothers actually threw him in an empty well for him to die. Those don't sound like good siblings. I have some siblings myself, and I mean, although we don't get along well all the time, I don't think it's ever gotten to the point where I'm like, I want them off. I don't want them here. So we're gonna jump into the video, guys, and then we're gonna be able to talk about it a little bit after. So let's enjoy this video.
Boom. Circus, hire me. What's up, guys? I am so glad you joined us this week because we're right in the middle of a series called Big Picture. We've been talking a lot about how in life sometimes we miss the bigger picture. We see things only from our perspective, which means we only see one part of the story. And that causes us to miss the rest of what might be happening, the bigger picture. Before we jump in today, let me start by asking you a really important question. How often do you do the right thing? Think about that for just a second. How often do you know the right thing to do and actually choose to do it? I think so many of us would admit that there's at least a few decisions we can look back on and say that we knew the right thing to do and still did the opposite. I mean, I know I have. That reminds me. So I'm in middle school, right? And you guys know you get tons of homework and tons of tests and quizzes that you've got to study for, and it's a lot to do. But I made a mistake. This one time. I never. No, that's a lie. I made a lot of mistakes. But this one time, I was swamped with work, and I just didn't know how I was going to get it all done. So I made the wrong choice to cheat. I had a friend who was really great at staying on top of things and doing their homework. So I asked, hey, can I borrow that worksheet that you did and take it home and just maybe compare answers and copy all of your answers? So I took it home, and I didn't get to work on it yet, but my parents asked, hey, Caleb, did you do your homework? And once again, I chose the wrong thing to do, and I lied. And I said, oh, that old thing, yeah, I did all of that. They said, okay, well, go get it and show it to us. Wow, I was on my way to get my homework when I literally passed out. Guys, I'm telling you, I was so stressed out from doing the wrong thing and lying that I was walking to my backpack and I dropped. Needless to say, I got found out. I had to go apologize to the person I cheated off of. I had to apologize to my parents. It was a mess. Can we all agree on just one thing today? Doing the right thing isn't always easy. Sometimes choosing to do the right thing means not choosing fun or the exciting or most popular thing, the thing we actually want to do. That can make choosing the right thing in any situation a really hard choice to make. Honestly, I think that's because doing the right thing usually costs us something. Think about it. Okay, so you know the right thing is to be honest with your parents, coaches, or teachers. But if you are, you'll get in trouble for what you did. Doing the right thing will have a consequence or punishment, and that will definitely cost you something. Or you know the right thing is to babysit your siblings when your parents ask, but you honestly just don't feel like dealing with them. You'd rather throw a box of Cheerios, lock yourself in your room, watch Netflix, and let them figure it out. Doing the right thing will cost you that freedom. You know the right thing is to say no to the guy who asked you out if you aren't allowed to have a boyfriend. Or fellas, maybe you shouldn't ask her out in the first place if you know you aren't allowed to have a girlfriend. Doing the right thing will cost you the chance at that relationship. And that feels like too high of a cost. You know, the right thing is to be honest about how you're feeling in a friendship, but if you do, you might end up in a fight or fallout with a friend. That conflict is a cost that you don't want to pay. The list could go on and on and on. And the reality is, we've all been in situations where we've had to choose if we're going to do the right thing. Sometimes doing the right thing feels really easy. I mean, it's an obvious choice. Other times, doing the right thing is really complicated. When we start to count the cost of doing the right thing, the choice suddenly isn't so clear. And sometimes it's difficult to do the right thing because we simply don't know what the right thing actually is. So here's the question. What can we do today, right now, to help us be prepared to do the right thing no matter what? I mean, even when it's difficult or unclear or going to cost us a lot, how can we make decisions today that will have a positive impact on the bigger picture of our lives? Let's take a closer look at the life of one of the most famous figures in the Bible, Joseph. As we look at Joseph's life, we have the privilege of seeing the bigger picture. We see the whole story. But at the time, Joseph only saw what was happening right in front of him. Joseph started out as a guy who was in conflict with his brothers. That part I can relate to. I mean, you know how, like, I maybe took my older brother's shirt, but he took the last piece of garlic bread, and that's a bigger deal. Or maybe my little brother, he slept in my bed because it's bigger when I was out of town. But I guess I stole shotgun, the front seat of the car. I dove, but he called it, but I was there first. But then Joseph wound up thrown in an empty well, which I can relate to probably a little less. And then he was sold into slavery. That's not the happiest story ever. But God had big plans for Joseph. There was a bigger picture that Joseph couldn't see yet. A picture that was actually pretty incredible. I mean, it was so incredible that we're still talking about him thousands of years later. Thankfully, we get a front row seat to all of it because of another famous historical figure named Moses, who decided to write down the stories of his ancestors and their lives. One of his written records was called Genesis, and it's a part of the Old Testament in the Bible. In that book, Moses wrote the story of Joseph's life in great detail. One of the things he wrote about gives us an idea of how to do the right thing when the right thing is hard to do. We're picking up Joseph's story right after he was sold as a slave to a group of traders. Joseph was eventually bought by a pretty powerful Egyptian named Potiphar. This guy was a big shot in the government and the captain of Pharaoh's guard. Now, after some time working for Potiphar, Joseph was put in charge of Potiphar's entire house and everything he owned. So even though Joseph was in a bad situation, things seemed to be turning around for him, right? Well, this is where the story starts to take a turn. Just look at what happened next. Now, Joseph was well built and handsome. And after a while, his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." Wait, what? Can we talk about how bad that was? Joseph, he's this good looking dude. You know, he's got the flow, he's got muscle. He was working hard for his boss, Potiphar, when suddenly, out of nowhere, Potiphar's wife took notice. And just like that, she invited him to do something that was just meant for her and her husband, not her and Joseph. See, Potiphar's wife was basically inviting Joseph to have an affair with her. And I think we all know that's a really tough situation. Now, let's talk about this like it happened now, just for a second. This is like your best friend's boyfriend or girlfriend texting you, or they DM you or Snapchat you, and they ask you to hang out on the side. I mean, sure, they might be really cute, but they're with your bestie, your dude, your dudette, your homie, your fella, your person, not you.
Yeah,
so
it's gotta
having
be
them
like
ask you to sneak around and hang out on the low,
If I'm still
isn't
here by the
a
time
great situation
I'm
for you to
actually a
be in, right?
professional.
It's an invitation to do something you know isn't right. And the same was true with Joseph. There was a lot at stake.
All the
He
staff?
could have easily given in to the
do
temptation
it.
Potiphar's wife presented him. He
I'll
could have
wait.
let the invitation go to his head. He could have considered
I'm not even
what he
joking.
could have gotten away with and decided, maybe I'll give it a shot. But
I like prepared
all
my
of
whole
that,
life for this.
all of those little choices that ultimately could have led to him having this affair with Potiphar's wife, well, they would have cost Joseph something. And Joseph, he was trying to do the right thing. So he decided to take a different route, but he refused. With me in charge, he told her, my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns, he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God? And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. Instead of giving in to Potiphar's wife, Joseph decided to do what was right. Not just one time, but over and over and over again. Every time Potiphar's wife came to Joseph with the same invitation, Joseph made the choice to do the right thing. I mean, that's awesome. You'd think that because Joseph made the choice to do the right thing, everything just worked out great. This right choice was so obvious and clear that you'd think it wouldn't cost Joseph much. You'd think it would all work out great. But believe it or not, doing the right thing eventually wound up costing Joseph his freedom. You see, sometime later, Potiphar's wife came to Joseph again with her inappropriate invitation. Only this time, she actually grabbed his cloak. Joseph tried so hard to do the right thing. My man shimmied out of his cloak and he took off running. He just left his cloak behind in her hands. Now, because Potiphar's wife obviously did some sketchy things, she told everyone that Joseph pursued her. She said that when she screamed for help, Joseph ran and left his cloak behind. I mean, of course, Potiphar wasn't happy when he heard this story, so he threw Joseph in prison. This definitely is not the happy ending you'd expect for someone who chose to do the right thing. Because sometimes doing the right thing will get you applause and approval, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes doing the right thing will come at a cost that seems completely unfair. That's exactly what happened here with Joseph. But Joseph did the right thing because he had integrity. And doing the right thing, regardless of the cost, is the definition of integrity. Joseph, he couldn't see the bigger picture. He didn't know that choosing the right thing would get him thrown into prison. And even when he was in prison, Joseph didn't know that God was still working, still creating an incredible big picture for his life. But Joseph, he didn't need to know because he was operating with integrity. Joseph knew that choosing the right thing was the best decision, no matter what happened next. Guys, that's what I want you to know too. Here's what I think we can remember from Joseph's story. When you can't see the bigger picture, do the next right thing. In the moments Joseph was faced with a choice, he didn't know the bigger picture. He couldn't see it yet, but he still chose to do the next right thing. He still chose to hold on to his integrity. So how can we do the same? When we're struggling to do the next right thing or make the next right choice, what can we do to help us hold on to our integrity? Well, first, you can see your situation. What situation are you in where you need to do the next right thing? Maybe Maybe it's in a relationship that's starting to push your boundaries. Maybe it's in a conversation you've been avoiding with your parents. Maybe it's in a friendship that needs to change. Whatever it is, think about what situation you're in where you need to take a step in the right direction. See the situation where you need help in making the right choice. Then next, identify the next right thing to do. Not all the right things to do, just the next right thing. Do you need to confess something to a parent? Do you need to ask a friend for help with something? Do you maybe need to apologize to someone in your life? Do you need to skip or miss out on a party that you've been invited to? Do you need to stop looking at someone else's homework? Do you need to have a tough conversation with a boyfriend or girlfriend? In your situation, what is the next right thing? Guys, here's the deal. It's easy to sit here and think about the next right thing to do. It's even easier to totally forget about it when you leave. So there's one final thing I want you to do. Tell somebody the next right thing you're trying to do. Talk to your small group leader. Talk to your friend or someone at home about the step that you're just trying to take. Invite them to ask you this week if you actually did it. Let them help you take a step toward the right thing right now. Taking these steps today is something that will shape our lives for the better tomorrow. Guys, remember, you don't have to see the big picture in order to make the right choice. Instead, day by day, when you're faced with all sorts of decisions and choices, you can choose the next right choice. When you can't see the bigger picture, do the next right thing. As you head out today, think about your answer to this question. In what situation do I need to do the next right thing? I should probably go pick up those apples.
What's up, guys? So after we kind of went through that video, we learned a little bit more about Joseph's story. I just have one question that has like multiple parts for you guys, multiple parts. And my bad, I forgot to mute when Steph and I were talking about, we're actually gonna do a sick TikTok challenge. So it was a great plug where if you want to see our challenge, you probably already know it. Tune into the TikTok page and you'll find out. But the question that I have for you guys today is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most impossible for you. How difficult is it for you to decide where you want to eat? Okay? How difficult is it for you to decide where you want to eat? 1. Yeah, some of you guys are like 1. I know as you guys are throwing the answers in the chat, for me, it depends on the day. I can like range from like a 10 to a 2. And it depends on like the circumstance, the situation, all of that plays in. 5, 3, 2, 3. I have a bunch of laptops because we need to. There's actually a desktop right there because we're operating a different system. Then that's what it is. It depends on my mood. Sorry, I'm just really curious. Tamara, is that you under the onechurch.to_church life? Ivan said, not hard at all. I couldn't care less where we eat as long as I'm not paying. Yo, that's another factor. If I'm not paying, it goes down to a 1. I'm going to eat whatever you paying for. What's up, Tamara? I figured. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Now, the next one, how difficult is it for you to decide what to wear to school? What to wear to school? Okay, I know when I didn't really care what I wore for like elementary and middle school, but when I got to high school, that's when I cared. I was like, I gotta be dripped out all the time. See, yeah, Alina's like 10. I feel you. I feel you, Alina. It was always a thing. Rachel said 5 to 7. Tamara said 1. Abigail said 5 to 7. I mean, we have uni, so it still matters. It still matters even though you have a uniform. Because like I remember a bunch of us, we used to tailor our uniform pants because like the whole skinny jean thing was in. And we're like, man, I'm not dealing with these baggy uniform pants. So like we would tailor our uniform pants so that they were skinny fit. Yo, it mattered. It mattered. It mattered. It was a serious thing, man. It was a serious thing. All right, next one. How difficult, and this one's always a 10 for me. It's always, always, always a 10. How difficult is it for you to find something to watch on Netflix? This is a difficult one, man. It's difficult. It's forever a 10. Forever. I'll spend more time looking for the movie than I do watching the movie. Yeah, you guys know. You guys know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. It's, yeah, see, straight 9s, 10s. We got 6s. 10, no question. Benny's a 5. I need people like Benny in my life because they will make the decision on the movie that we're watching. We need more Bennys. And we need more Nellies. Nelly's a 2 and a 3, man. We need more people like that. Evangeline said 11. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yup. You guys hit it right on the nail. So now here comes the important question. Here comes the meat question. Here comes the question on why we're here. And that's this. What's the hardest part about making a decision? Okay? What makes making a decision so hard? All right, you guys can throw your answers in that live chat. That's why I usually watch series. Yeah, I get that. The end result, yep. Yep, that can be a very, very, very important thing about making decisions because you're like, I don't know how this is going to end. Evangeline said our family has watched so many movies on Netflix that by the time we find something, it's already super late. Weighing the outcomes, yep. How it affects me, yep. I think the biggest thing that you guys are hitting on is the outcome. When it comes to making a decision, the biggest thing we fear is the outcome of that decision because the reality is that outcome can either be something great or it can be something not so great. And this is where we get challenged so much is making a decision that has the right outcome. And when we look at Joseph's life, this is the thing. Sometimes making the right decision, good things are going to happen. But the reality of that too is sometimes making the right decision, something bad is going to happen. And this is what Joseph went through with the wife of Potiphar, and he made the right decision to run, to flee, to not do what Potiphar's wife was asking. But yet he still got thrown in jail. He still got treated as if he had done what she asked, which is the tough thing. And this usually this is the unfortunate reality sometimes, guys, about making the right decision. But as our bottom line goes, when we can't see the bigger picture, we have to do the next right thing. We always have to do the next right thing. No matter the outcome of doing that right thing, we have to continue to do it because we know that it's the right thing. It's kind of like playing chess. There might be a blind move to take. Yeah. Seeing what would happen, whether it would be a good or bad. Exactly, man. You guys hit it right on the nail. And that's basically all the time that we have for today, guys. It's been amazing to spend some time with you. If you guys don't, you guys should come out on Wednesdays This Wednesday, we're going to be playing a couple games. Yes, a couple games for the ability to win gift cards. So you don't want to miss out on that. I know, because the camera's here, but your guys' chat comes up on this one. But anyways, I wanted to say secret, but it's not a secret. All right. I need to ask you guys something. So if you're in a room with your parents, or you got headphones, or your dad specifically is in the room, throw some headphones on or go into another room, because I want to talk to you guys about Father's Day. I want to talk to you guys about Father's Day. Okay? So here's the thing. We want to post a video on Father's Day of you guys celebrating your dads. So what we're asking you guys to do is make like a 10-second clip. A 10-second clip that is thanking your father or talking about something that you enjoy about your father, okay? 10-second clip. You guys can send it to my email. I'm dropping the email down below. Oh, why did it go to Church Life? That's weird. Oh, stop it. Sorry. Okay, I dropped my email down below. The quality, guys, you can literally take your phone like this and just go, hey, talking about my dad, this, okay? It can be as simple as that. But guys, send that video in ASAP so that we can get it on for next weekend so your dad can see and your dad can know. This is a great opportunity. If you can't get a gift, for you to make a gift of you saying thank you to your dad. Okay, guys? So, again, send it to my email as soon as you can. It's only got to be like 10 seconds. All right, guys? That's the secret announcement that I have. I'm going to pray, and then you guys are free to go. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much, Lord. We thank you, Lord, that today we learned that when we don't see the bigger picture, to just continue to make the right decision, the next right decision, Father. And we understand, Lord, that the right decision may not get the praise or may not get the spotlight that we may think it needs to get, Father, Lord, that sometimes making the right decision is a hard decision to make, Father. So, Lord, I would just pray, Lord, that you would give each and every single one of us the strength, Lord, the courage, Father, the wisdom, and the discernment, Father, to be able to make the right decision, Lord, no matter the outcome of that decision, Lord, but that we would rest in full confidence that you are always with us and that you will watch over us, you will protect us when we make the right decision, Father. So I thank you so much, and we lift your name up. In your name, amen and amen. All right, guys, it's been amazing. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Don't forget the videos. Don't forget the videos. Peace out. Hey.